it's Christine with Moonshine Safari and
Anthony with Moonshine Safari.
Woohoo!
Yeehaw!
We are up to episode 8 of the show Outlander, first season, and this episode actually covers chapters 17 through 20. There's nothing from 19, which we kind of talked about when we were going over the chapters, but it does go into little of chapter 21, and it's a little bit not as crisp and easy to say this many chapters for this particular episode, so it's going to get a little bit more muddled, but you know, it is what it is. Just as a quick reminder, we have spoilers on the show and the books, and if you don't want to be spoiled, you shouldn't listen, but you do want to be spoiled, so you should listen.
Get spoiled.
Get spoiled. Okay, so this opens with stuff that's actually not in the book, but it's interesting. So Frank, which we don't see this in the book, but Frank, who is in 1945, he is pushing the police to find Claire. He's angry. It's clear that he thinks they are incompetent, but keep in mind that Frank was an intelligencer in World War II, so he has pretty high standard on what he thinks they should be doing. But also, the police have pretty much been doing everything they can do. She disappeared through time, which we know, but I mean, how do you explain that to people who don't believe in this stuff? That's weird.
Even the show almost doesn't remember Frank. Frank who?
Poe Frank. Well, I mean, at least they opened the episode with him.
That's what I mean.
The police obviously think that Claire left with a man, which is the ghost Jamie that Frank saw looking up at her window. There are posters of a drawing of him, and it's obviously who we know to be Jamie, but Frank doesn't know who that is. I always find that strange because Claire, as a character before this all happened, didn't give any reason to think that she would just take off.
Right.
And they're just assuming that she just did it of her own volition. And I don't get that.
Well, back then in the day, you know, it was probably
Women
the hysterics of women.
Women be flighty.
And we already know Claire has a propensity of getting herself into a bit of trouble.
She does that really well.
So it wouldn't be so far-fetched to think that she probably killed somebody, or, you know, I'm just saying, it's true.
Fell in a hole.
No.
She's living with the Middle Earth people or whatever. I don't know. Anyway. She does get some weird situations.
Right.
So then you see the next thing, it cuts to Claire and Jamie they're alone on a hill. They're having a very similar conversation to the one they had in the book. Jamie wants to know if it's always, I'm just going to paraphrase because the way he says it's weird, but if it's always this passionate between couples. And she says maybe something like this, but not totally like this. Frank who?
Right.
Obviously, she notices it as well. It seems to be more intense between the two of them. So as they're sitting there talking,
she can't help it. That's just the way she's written.
Like, you could also call it fate, depending on, you know.
Yeah.
So they're sitting there and they're surprised by this arrow. And Jamie obviously goes into protect mode. He covers Claire and he starts to look. And when he sees the arrow, he recognizes that it's his friend, the beggar, Hugh Monroe, which we've already met in the books. And they tell you a lot very fast. Hugh is super friendly. He tells them about Horrocks, which is interesting because actually in the books, they already know the man's name and everything. Monroe has been kind of carrying messages already a little bit back and forth, but they make it look like this is news. But this is an English deserter who might help Jamie. And so they compress it all for time, but you get the idea. Basically, Monroe is setting up a meeting. In the show, Jamie is not sure he can trust Horrocks. In the books, he absolutely says, no, I don't trust him. Jamie is very clear in the books that there are very few people in this world that he trusts. And of course, this English deserter guy is not one of them. So now we're back to Frank who, and Frank who is talking with the Reverend Wakefield again. And we see Roger. So
little Roger.
We Roger. So you gotta
Roger Max.
take note of Roger because, you know, obviously as time progresses, he becomes more important. But Frank who is discouraged and he just kind of decides to kind of go blow off some steam, goes to a bar. And there's a woman that approaches him and says she knows the person on the poster, which is the drawing of the Jamie ghost. And she says she can take Frank who to the man. He asks her, he goes, well, is my wife with him? And she goes on, I mean, I don't know. It's up to you. I can take you, bring the money because there's a reward. And then that's up to you after that. So now we go back again. It's back and forth this time. Claire and Jamie and the water horse story with Rupert. This is when they're about to get raided by the Grants. This is the raid scene. And it's fairly consistent. The men know something's up. They're paying attention. All of a sudden, everybody's getting weird. And in the show version, it's actually actually Ned, not Murtaugh, who shoots one of the raiders to help Dougal. And then after the fight, they really don't say they took a person. They don't get into some of the details, the minutia of the books, but it's very similar. They laugh and they have fun, and no one seems to take the raid very seriously. So now we're back to Frank Hu again, and Frank Hu goes to meet the woman from the bar. Of course, it's a ruse. They try to rob him, and it was only about the money, but he is so angry that he basically is going to beat this man to death. Like I said, it's not in the books. You don't see kind of that side of Frank per se, but it's kind of an interesting story because we know that, of course, once Claire goes through the stones, Frank's got to be doing something to try to find her. He didn't just go home. Well, my wife left. I'm just going to go home. He was looking. So the idea that we never really see it in the books is kind of interesting, but I think it's a nice side thing to be able to see what Frank is up to. And so
Frank is trying.
Frank is trying to find her. Okay, only he can't get there.
It may not be the other way around so much.
Well, she says she's trying to.
I'm really trying to get to.
I really want to.
Anyway,
so back to the Reverend's house. He's subtle, but he kind of essentially tells Frank Hu that he's getting too angry, and maybe it's time for him to give up and go home and take up his teaching position like he was planning to. And maybe she did leave, which I still find funny, but you're probably right. It's probably a timing thing of when this is all happening. They just assume the woman just decided to leave. So again, back to Jamie and Claire. This is where Claire learns to fight. In the show, it's mostly Angus that teaches her. In the books, it's really Rupert that is the teacher. Rupert seems to be more of a contemporary of Dougal's in the books. In the show, he seems to be more like a generation younger than Dougal. So I find that interesting, but that's just nothing bad, just different.
And what they mean by teaching her how to fight, they're showing her where to stick the knife and where not to, so it doesn't get stuck in the bone. But I find that she's a nurse.
She's a nurse.
She knows where to stick a knife. She doesn't need to be shown where to stick a knife to do the most damage.
The only thing
she's been in war, and she's seen the wounds, so she should know. And has he already killed somebody already?
Did she already kill?
Or is this the first one coming up? Oh, I just spoiled the spoiler.
I know. Okay, but you know what? The only thing I can see is the technique, because it's different when somebody's laying on an operating table and you're fixing them versus you're fighting with them, and you got to figure out how to kill them.
Your brain still works the same.
That you would think, and you would think that that would be
an operating table.
Automatic interest that she knows information that she has.
Thing. Yes. I'm going to put it where it's going to do the most.
I know where the organs are. Right. I know, right? Yeah, no, I get it.
So they're just showing her, and she in the show, she acts like she doesn't know what she thought she's doing. But I mean, come on.
But right, she should. She definitely should, and yeah,
she's been to war.
She has, right? So now we're switching back again. We're back to Frank Hu, and he's packing to leave. So you could see that he's very upset, but he's going to go. Now again, back to Jamie and Claire, where we have a get ready, bomb chicka wow scene. Woohoo! Just like the book. They are off alone, and when they're in the middle of the fun,
of course,
2 English deserters come, and they have a gun up to Jamie's head. I should say a musket. Claire, with her newfound fighting knowledge, kills one of them,
that's because she's trying to rape her.
Right, exactly. And really, this does really go along pretty much word for word with the books. This is how it works out. So again, after this happens, Jamie's actually able to kill one of them. Claire kills the first one. Jamie kills the second one, and then he pulls her away. She is like off her rocker a little bit in shock. In shock. Now we go back to Frank Hu, and Mrs. Graham, the Reverend's housekeeper, is angry, and she wants to tell Frank about the stones. She's one of the dancers. She's not only one of the dancers, the book makes it clear that she is the main dancer. She's the caller. She's the one that calls the sun, which is kind of interesting. And the Reverend doesn't want him to tell her because he thinks it's a bunch of crap, basically. But he kind of overhears them arguing and agrees to, and he wants to hear it. So when they get ready to talk about this, you go back to Jamie and Claire, and Jamie's apologizing. Again, Claire is in shock. It's a little bit different than the book. She handles the shock a little bit differently in the books. She's really laughing in the books, but it's very much a stress release. But she does not get angry with Jamie in the books. But in the show, she gets angry. She gets angry.
She gets mad, and she acknowledges in the show that she's mad
for unfair reasons.
Right? So it's not like one of those times where she's just mad and she
feels justified.
Exactly.
Right.
It's not one of those self-righteous times.
He didn't do a bad. He just something bad happened. She realizes that she's mad in the show at herself for losing sight of the fact that she needs to get back to Frank Who. So in the show, Dougal...
Maybe a little guilt.
Oh, that would be fair.
Right.
That
Plus,
would be
they
fair.
didn't get defended.
Now they're angry.
They're grumpy.
They're grumpy.
They're grumpy.
Ay. Bomb should go out. Anyway, so in the show, Dougal convinces Jamie that they should go to meet the deserter with him. In the books, he does not need any convincing. He does not want to go to this thing alone. So back to Frank Who, he is leaving. And you're just kind of switching back and forth. That's why I'm saying it this way.
You're at a tennis
It's
match.
like, woo, right, exactly. Now we are back seeing Jamie and Claire traveling again, and they are going to go meet the English deserter, and they are going to leave her, and she is angry. And they leave her with a younger member of the group, and she promises to stay put. And Jamie's like, you better freaking stay where you're supposed to be. On the other hand, in the books, they leave her by herself, and he actually tells her she better behave or he's going to tie her to the tree. So as he's leaving...
Done that. He should have just went ahead and done that.
He probably should have.
Just should have done it.
He probably should have, because, we know what happens to Claire when she's left to her own devices.
Men die.
As he is leaving, she's looking around and she's angry and she sees the stones and she's just starts to head up there. And then the young man that was supposed to be watching her, he had stepped away to handle his personal business. And she said to stay upwind. She doesn't want to smell it, which makes it clear what he plans to do. But again, she escapes when he's not paying attention. So basically, when she sees the stones from far away, they're 202 years apart, but they're converging. Frank Who is traveling and he's leaving, but he decides to stop at Craignadown again just to see the stones, see where she got taken from or run away from or whatever the heck, since he doesn't really know. And Claire at the same time is heading up towards the stones in 1743. And Frank Who is yelling, and Claire is kind of hearing him and trying to head to the stones. At the end, of course, as she's right about to get to the stones,
guess what?
She gets caught by some people in red coats.
Then you got to watch the next episode.
That's right. The dragoons get her. Frank Who's defeated. Claire is now back in front of Blackjack.
Wah, wah.
She's not falling for the nice act anymore. She does try to bluff him into believing that she works for the Duke of Sandringham, which she picked up during a conversation between the Reverend and Frank Who back in the future. Keep in mind, you want to remember that name, Duke of Sandringham. It's who the Reverend and Frank Who thought of might have protected Blackjack, because Blackjack gets away with a lot of crap and no one understands why. So she blows it in a dumb way, in my opinion, in the shows by saying stupid stuff. But he gets rough, and as he's getting really rough...
That means he's raping her.
He's getting ready to. All of a sudden, Jamie to the rescue.
Dun, dun, dun.
And Blackjack... Jamie actually says, please take your hands off my wife.
Well, wait, you missed the whole point. Where does he show up? It's not like he just walked in the car and goes, thank you.
He shows up in the window.
He kicks the window open and he climbed the
building that they're in, whatever it is.
The castle, and he's
he's holding a musket up at Frank. Sorry, he's holding a musket up at Blackjack.
It's a pistol. It's not a musket.
Okay, he's holding a gun up. I don't even know. I'm not paying attention. He's holding some kind of firearm. It's a pistol up at Blackjack and says, I will thank you to take your hands off my wife. And of course, Blackjack is thrilled because we haven't gotten that far into it yet, but he's got a weird thing about Jamie, and he's thrilled that Claire is actually his wife. He knows Claire married somebody. He did not realize it was Jamie. And the episode digs a little bit into chapter 21, which we will discuss the next time. Anyway, I hope that was somewhat informative. It's starting to pick up some steam now. We're starting to get a lot of the background stuff out of the way. Please check out MoonshineSafari.com for all of our past episodes and also other things that we have going on there, which is some cool cryptid stuff. Don't forget the wee monster Nessie.
Like and subscribe. We are almost at 1,000 subscribers.
Which is a big deal to us. Thank you
so much. We have, it's grown so fast, and we thank you so much.
We
keep
love
sharing,
it. Yeah,
keep
please,
listening, and all that good stuff. We really appreciate it.
And we will check in with you on chapter 21. And also, we are going to be doing episodes of Blood of My Blood to try to compare. We don't have actual Blood of My Blood books, but we have the stuff that we do know from the books, and I kind of want to see how that's going to go. Anyway, hope you guys have a great time, and let us know if you think we're missing anything. See ya!
Bye-bye.
Bye.